I'm Nicole King, and this is Marbella Now.
Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day. Halfway twisted, you've been out of shape, and you feel.
Welcome back to the program. I'm delighted to be here at Umbrella's Bar and Barbers once again at the Marbella Arena, aka the Bullring in Nueva Andalucía. It really is heartwarming to see so many businesses opening up and people beginning to realize that this is open. Free car park, free car park if you go to one of the bars and restaurants because you get a 3-hour pass. So it's really a good setup and well worth a visit. This is Boy, by the way, seeing if I can bring him into the program. He's a bit young, so he's a little bit active. Try not to get distracted because my first guests this week are very interesting. They've come from Toronto, they're set up here on the Costa del Sol, and thanks to Luke Hill, we get to meet them. And they actually do something quite different to most people here in the Costa del Sol with their wicked chateau. So, Shlomo and Aurora, welcome to Marbella Now.
Thank you for having us.
Well, as I say, I really knew nothing about you. Then Luke mentioned that you'd opened up this business and that you'd like more people to know about it. And I actually knew somebody very closely who opened up the King's Castle discotheque there back in the 80s. And the chateau has been many things in the past, but I don't think it's ever been what it is now. So when Luke told me about the project, he said it's a little bit hedonistic, and I replied back, what does that mean? So it turns out that that kind of means, well, as you call it, a lifestyle club,
Right.
but it's a swingers club.
Yes and no, but yes.
Well, it's we call it we describe it like Marbella Best Kept Secret. It's a private club, operate like it's a castle that we converted in a nightclub. Plus we have an outdoor pool and a jacuzzi and all kind of facility. I wouldn't call it swinger because we have all kind of customers, members that coming to to experience different fantasies. We do have swingers coming, but we have single ladies, selected single gents.
It's something that personally I know absolutely nothing about the genre. I have friends who have clubs in England of a similar nature, not the same from what I understand, with the great setup that being on the Costa del Sol offers with all the outside pool facilities. But I didn't even read 50 Shades of Grey. So for me, when I was going through the website, it was like, oh, it's like so many people, and obviously this is, and I agree with everything, as long as you don't hurt anybody else, you're not interfering with anybody else. I think it's an absolutely fabulous concept that people can really just be themselves in a safe atmosphere, because that's, I understand, the underlying thing. It's a safe atmosphere.
That is the key message that we're trying to take out there. It's that's why we don't say it's just a swinger club. It's a nightclub where people can come and explore all kinds of different fantasies that they're into, or nothing at all. And I mean, some people will just stay in the dance area, and then some people will move on to the more private spaces where they can explore their sexuality. What we also focus on is female empowerment. So we always have more women than men, just by the fact that men have to be accompanied or by a lady or by a couple, and that encourages women to express their sensuality, to dress in a very sexy way, without the fear of being harassed or disrespected,
judged or
Right.
anything. Yeah, just be.
And
I mean, in a place where there undeniably are probably 18 women to every man, I would have to think that it's a great place for women to be able to go and, I don't know, just be able to have a little bit more fun than if you're on your own that you may be able to normally.
Well, it's definitely a place where women run the show, because the women decide almost everything, who does what, who plays with who, if they're even going there. and usually the boyfriend or the husband just follows. They're just too happy to be there.
It's a relaxed environment for everybody. It's very peaceful. People are coming to explore the fantasies. They put their own limits, and we have theme night, so it's an opportunity for the ladies and for the guys to dress up with nobody judging them and explore their fantasy, dressing up like whatever is the theme.
A couple?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay. I like this. You've been in Toronto. Is this where you're from? Give us a little bit of a background of you personally.
We're very much global citizens, but now we came from Toronto. So we were living there for 15 years. We had a club like this in Toronto for almost 12 years. We were the first ones actually to have a club, a lifestyle club of this dimension, whereby we had, a dance floor, we had play areas, we had private areas, fantasy rooms and all that. So we were the first ones there. And when they legalized in Toronto in 2005, the Supreme Court decided to legalize the whole concept of hedonism and swinging and the lifestyle. So we got a lot of media coverage from that.
How did you two meet?
Oh, where did you meet? No, we meet in a gym.
He was my personal trainer.
No, we in Toronto we hosted also film festival parties, and it was successful because we managed to get a lot of curious people, new people that wanted to explore and experience and have the big conception.
I'm trying to explore a little bit more about you guys, the people behind. I think like the concept. I think we've got that across. But I'm intrigued to know a little bit more about you guys personally. To get into something like this is great, but obviously there must be a direction. Is it because you yourself felt that it was lacking? And you guys met in a gym. It was sort of quite a normal way.
Well, I grew up in Belgium. Okay, so I'm European background. I always had an open mind. So when we started being in a relationship, I always believed in non-exclusive monogamy, in the sense that I don't believe that you can be in a relationship with someone you marry somebody and you can be with them for 20, 25 years, 30 years because you love them, and that you can expect exclusivity on a sexual basis. So I didn't, and then from there on, we just continue to explore ourselves.
You sound like you have an Argentinian accent when you speak Spanish.
I grew up in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, and we're the key of a relationship is a good communication and being honest. And the club actually is start like something that we're doing that for fun, and then it became like a full-time work.
Obviously, there were obviously people who are really grateful that there are places where they can be. I know when they opened up in a hotel in Estepona and things like that, in the sense that I do appreciate that there are so many people with different tastes, and I think if you've got a safe space where you can be yourself without bothering other people, bring it on. So I'm really delighted to welcome you guys here. How long have you actually been on the coast now?
This one, 3 years. Because we moved to Barcelona, and then after 2 years we came down here. We actually came to Marbella by accident, and we just fell in love with Marbella. But I did want to add something about our club, is that you don't have to be a swinger or into the lifestyle to attend any of the events. Sometimes you can just use the excuse of this weekend we have this fashion show or other themed nights as an excuse just to go there and just to be there, enjoy a drink, meet nice people, and you don't have to do anything.
It's like a Halloween party every week.
Yes.
Well, I have to say that I'm a Jewish girl who went to a convent, and although I have a wild look to me, I'm kind of not a prude, but I'm very keep things very much in line, and I'm very interested to actually go. And I know we can't record because that's something I thought was very nice. No cameras, no recording. It's all very private. But at the same time, I really don't. Even the words when Luke said hedonism, you're like, what does that mean? I have no idea. And I think sometimes it's nice to be able to ask questions because people don't dare ask because they don't know and they feel like we should know. And yet, even if we don't know things, it's nice to investigate. and see what goes on, other worlds, what people are up to.
Well, I think that this is the thing. The first misconception of people who have never been is that, oh, do I have to go there and do I have to get, naked and do things with other people that I don't want? And the answer is no. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to.
It sounds like a wild party.
It is.
Guys, I'm really delighted to meet you both. And as I say, probably more a threat than a promise that I'll ever show up. But for those of you who would like to get wicked, and there they are in the castle, Wicked Chateau,
Wickedclub.com.
Club.com. And, you can't say we didn't get this week's programme off to a swing. Thank you.
Thank
you for having us.
An absolute pleasure. Don't go away. We're back in a minute with more of what's going on literally behind the scenes in Marbella.
Judy and John are getting along famously. They have so much in common, which now includes both being too tipsy to drive home.
Oh, John, you can't drive home like that. Neither can I.
John looks worried, but not our Judy. She simply calls Linear Director for a free taxi and a tow truck to take her and her car home. Call Linear Director on 952 14 78 34 to see how they can better your life too.
Everyone that comes and wants to join our Zero Hero Association, they will have free non-alcoholic drinks at our venue at any time.
Hi guys, Ross here from Hogan Stand. Proud to be a member of the Zero Hero campaign. And we recommend everybody. Nobody drives drinking. Everybody who drives a car doesn't have any alcohol in their system, and we're proud to sponsor the Zero Hero program.
G-Wine is happy to be Zero Hero partner.
How cool is that? G-Wine.
Thank you.
My first guests today were courtesy of an introduction by Luke Hill. And now my next guest is from an introduction by Harriet Nilsson, the fabulous author and artist. Gavin Scott is doing something outstanding, and I want to share with you his project because I think that we'd all like to support him, particularly as I understand it, that if he wants to support, he only wants €1 or £1 or $1. So let's find out a little bit more about Gavin. Gavin, welcome to Marbella Now.
Thanks so much.
And welcome back to the Costa, because you've been in the UK for a while.
I have, yeah. I've just been back for a couple of weeks.
Practicing for what you're about to do?
Absolutely, yeah. I've got a couple of support team members that decided to sign up, so we needed to get together and just train together for a while.
And what he's training for is to swim the English Channel, which is no mean feat. I think the Straits of Gibraltar would have been, but to swim the Channel, and you're doing this to raise awareness about the plastic problem in our oceans.
Absolutely, yeah.
Why do you care? I mean, how did you get involved with thinking like that you care about it, and are you really that good a swimmer?
Great question, or great questions. I got involved in it because I love traveling. I've been traveling since before I went to university, so straight out of school. I took a gap year. And, you know, the difference in 20, 25 years that I've seen around the world is just huge. So I want to go and visit those beautiful places and see them remain intact and natural and beautiful. To go to the beaches today and to see mounds of plastic waste and pollution just sitting on the beach, not even in the sea, but has been washed up, is, I think, really devastating for the ecosystems and really disturbing in my own peace of mind. So I think it's something that's really important to all of us. The toxicity that comes from plastic pollution gets into all of our ecosystems, not just into the sea. So they say there's about 2 spoonfuls of microplastics in each human right now, and that toxicity in each human can cause a great variety and variable of things in us. So we need to remove that from the ecosystem. Having gone about my journey so far, I really think like the actual wider issue is changing habits. You know, like to raise awareness is great. That starts or provokes the thought process to changing a habit. But, you know, as a species, we've become really clever and we've got all this technology. And I think we can clear up the crisis or the problem. But what seems a tougher job is changing people's attitude and habits towards it. So a lot of people aren't interested. And, you know, of course, when you're trying to raise money for charity, people are like, you know, do I really want to give this money to charity? So I came up with the idea a bit like, not a Ponzi scheme, but a bit like network marketing, where you bring in people below you. And so I'm just asking people to give $1, €1, £1 in their local currency and invite 10 other like-minded people that they know to do the same.
And what would you use the funds for?
So the funds are going directly to the ocean cleanup, and their biggest mission is to take all of the plastic waste out of the Pacific garbage patch, which is
it's
just
quite horrendous, as I understand it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like it's mind-blowing.
It's a huge, huge city in the sea
Of
plastic.
waste,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's just crazy. And the longer it stays there, the more of that plastic gets not melted, but broken down into microplastics.
And then the fish eat it, we eat the fish, and it's just this horrible chain of events.
It's a cyclical, yeah. It's a cycle. So it really needs to change. And, you know, Boyan Slat, the founder of Ocean Cleanup, he's also got some other projects on the go. So I know a couple of weeks ago he was in Guatemala, and the mounds or the piles of plastic that I talk about, he was actually sitting on top of. And they're also trying to get this project off the ground called the waste fence or something, and it's a big net basically that drops out at sea and stops this coming in to the shore, but catches it. And obviously it tries to release fish and things like that so that the natural environment is kept and not spoiled.
And the swimming, I mean, are you a swimmer, or is this something you've done since a kid? Because this is such a big challenge. The first thing I thought was, well, what if you don't make it, and who's going to be there to pick you up if you get tired or you get a cramp? Or how are you focusing this, and why again? Why the swimming?
So it's a really interesting question. I was actually locked down too, walking up and down the beach every day here in San Pedro, because the police weren't actually marshalling it. So I got to spend most of my time outdoors in a nice environment. And one day I saw this light across the sea, and I thought, I wonder where that's coming from. And it was in Morocco. And I still don't know why to this day, but I thought, well, if you can see it, you must be able to swim there. I was like, okay. And then I investigated, and there's Gibraltar Straits Challenge. And that's actually what I was meant to be doing this year, but
But that's a dangerous area, because it's across tides of the Atlantic and the Mediterranean, and it's like, it's dangerous.
So to do the Gibraltar Straits Challenge, you've got to swim a minimum of 3 kilometers an hour, because if you don't, you'll miss Morocco and probably end up in Algeria. And, well, you might not even end up there, you could end up further.
Because of the current.
Yeah. You know, it's the entrance to the Mediterranean from the Atlantic, so the currents are really very strong there. But yeah, in many ways I'm kind of glad that I'm not doing it, because I don't quite swim 3 kilometers an hour yet. I'm somewhere between 2.5, depending on what the tide and the currents are doing, and how many days in a row I've been training and stuff. But when I found out that I couldn't do the Gibraltar Straits this year, my coach, Adam Walker, of the Walker Academy, Ocean Academy, he said, I've got a slot for you. And I said, a slot for where? And I was like, he said the English Channel. I was like, you know, I'd never really wanted to do it. You know, it wasn't something that really appealed to me. And as a mindset coach, I just took a bit of time and realized, you know, I'm always telling people, if you put your mind to it, you can achieve anything. And the realities is I was going to do the Gibraltar Straits. So yes, okay, it's double the length, but it's just water and it's just me swimming. So actually the main variables haven't really changed in the game plan. Just I have to swim further in colder water, basically.
But the colder water makes a big difference too.
Right.
You're going to slap on all kinds of oils and rubber suits. And
So really interestingly, the Channel Swimming Association don't allow you to wear a wetsuit. It's got to be done in the fashion that the first person recorded did it, and they didn't wear a wetsuit. As far as putting the grease on, the Vaseline and lanolin, that's not actually to keep you warm, it's to keep you from keeping your skin in
from
good
turning
order.
into
Right,
prunes.
exactly. Or getting rubbed or chafing, which you can imagine after like 7 or 8 hours would start to be quite painful. So yeah, the swimming element is, I mean, I did it as a kid at school, obviously, in a pool, a few hundred meters.
Not the same thing, Gavin.
It's not, no.
It's not the same. I'm still not buying it. Like,
here's the thing, right, is I've been training now for over a year. I love the water. I've always enjoyed being in it. It's something new to me. So every time I go in the water, I get to explore an adventure in it. And I love doing that when I'm traveling on land. So there's no real difference in water. It just obviously becomes slightly different with your breathing technique and your moving technique.
how long is it going to take, in theory?
Anywhere between, on an amazing best case day, 10 hours. On a poor case day, 20 hours.
And will you be able to last that long, or their boats say you can stop and have a rest?
So basically you're not allowed to touch the boat. You can't touch other people. You've got to be completely unaided. You stop probably about every half an hour for about 30 seconds just to take on some liquids and some energy drinks. And then you keep going, otherwise the current will probably take you away from where you want to go.
But any moment that you want to give up, you can just get on a boat and it's over. There will be
Oh,
that.
yeah, you can get up and, yeah, you can.
Phew,
Yeah.
now I feel a lot better.
No, there's the whole, obviously, immigration thing, because it's a massive route for people to come through. But more than that, it's a major shipping lane. And so, you know, they've got to control the boats and stuff that's going through it. There's huge amounts of pollutants in there other than plastic. So it's going to be really interesting.
What about sharks and other?
Well, the way I see that presentation or perception or thought is quite simple. I'm doing this for them as much as I'm doing it for myself, and so they're gonna keep me safe and guide me to where I need to go.
But again, the objective for you isn't perhaps necessarily the challenge, but it's bringing awareness to your cause. So like at the end of the day, if you don't do it without touching the boat, like no pasa nada, it's no big deal, right? Or is it personally that this is now something at the same time, it's like I'm going for it, this has to be done?
You know, you can really allow the ego to play. So as a mindset coach, you know, the ego comes to play a lot. And yeah, now that we're this close to the finishing line, it's very personal. Like, I've never started something and not finished it. I've had to put on a huge amount of weight in the last 3 months to do this. So, you know,
You're like getting that blubber up to protect you.
Right, exactly. So here we are in Marbella during the beautiful summer season, and I'm putting on weight. Most people are trying to shed a few pounds.
Yeah, you would think for swimming you would want to be light and agile. You're not thinking that you would want to. So obviously, over the last year, your times have improved, your stamina's improved, but this now you need to adapt with your increase of weight. No, because that must affect it as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually you gain a bit of buoyancy by having a bit of blabber in you. And one of the really tough things is I've got a plan, i.e. the months leading up to the challenge date, and I've had sinusitis, I've had ear infections, I've had all of these strange injuries that have stopped me from doing what we call endurance training. So I've only been doing maintenance up until about 10 days ago. Maintenance is about an hour, hour and a half swimming. Endurance means you start pushing 2, 4, 6, 8 hours as you start to, you know, try and do.
So how many are you up to at the moment?
At the moment I'm up to 3 hours.
But you got 20 possibly to swim,
Yeah,
and it's the 22nd of September is the date, right?
Right.
So I mean, do you have a plan? I mean,
I do have a plan.
The plan?
This is the plan. Turn up on the day and do it anyway, no matter what. Make it happen.
Well, I'm
That's
really,
the power of the mind. The body achieves what the mind believes.
You're a mindset coach.
Yes.
How did you get into that?
So basically, it was all during early days in lockdown. I was trying to force things to happen externally as an entrepreneur, and I couldn't. You know, everything was closed. Nobody responded to emails. No one would pick up phone calls. So I thought, well, if I can't affect the outside world, let's go inside. And, you know, I started working with gurus like Tony Robbins, and I just went to courses and took on mentors and read books and went to master classes and whatever I could consume. And before I knew it, I was like, hang on a second. This changes the entire game, not just for me, but for everybody. If everybody knows what I know, then the world is going to change so big that it will never be the same again.
And it all starts with changing oneself. It's not changing the outside. It's changing and starting with oneself, as you say.
Absolutely.
I'm so impressed. It's been really lovely chatting with you. Gavin Scott is swimming the British Channel, the English Channel, on the 22nd of September. He's going to do his best. It could be between 10 and 20 hours. But the important thing is that we're aware of the harm we're doing to our planet with our laziness, really, of not making those changes, perhaps, that can just stop the problem increasing while we look at how to resolve what we've already created.
Well, here's some really interesting facts for you. There's about 730 tons of plastic pollution into the Mediterranean every day. So 730 tons, that's 730,000 kilos a day. And sort of the main culprits, obviously, are the big cities. So in Spain, your Valencias and Barcelona. Obviously, river mouths are a big culprit. So, you know, we know where it's coming from. We just have to change the way that we do things. And, you know, 95% of the waste in the ocean is actually on top, so like we can see it. And about 50% of that is on the seabed, and a bit, you know.
Well, there's a lot to be done.
There's a lot, there's so much.
One drop in the ocean. Gavin, in our world of population, is one drop in the ocean. But if we all do a little bit, then obviously we can achieve a lot. Congratulations, best of luck, and we'll hopefully meet up again after the event and be able to look at some footage and some success stories.
Once I've completed the challenge successfully and returned home safely.
I look forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Don't go away, we're back in a moment with more of what's going on behind the scenes in Marbella Now.
Zero Hero, welcome here at the Gaucho de Banús.
Welcome to Lemongrass, Doña Lola. Thank you very much.
Zero Hero, welcome to Portofino, Cabo Pino.
Hi guys, Casa Tour is proud to welcome the Zero Heroes. So come on in and enjoy free soft drinks for anyone who is the designated driver. Thank you, Nicole.
I'm often saying that you just never know who you're sitting next to in Marbella, and also hashtag better together. And this week's program is certainly that, because every guest is coming through the introduction of someone else. My next guest, Marisol Gomez, was an introduction by Bruno Souza, who worked with Cara at the Boardwalk and is now helping her out in all other endeavours that she's doing, and brings great joy to everything because he's a really fun person. And I know that Marisol is also a fun person. She's from Brazil. She's a TV presenter herself and an events organizer for everything Brazil. So very nice to welcome you, Marisol, to the program. Bienvenida al Marbella Now.
Gracias, thank you very much. Hello, Leute. Hello, people.
How long have you been in Marbella? ¿Cuánto llevas en Marbella?
En Marbella son ahora 14 años.
So she's been here already for 14 years. Y tú eres bailarina de cosas de Brasil. Sí. ¿Qué es tu afán con el baile, los eventos?
Sim, eu já levo acá na Europa, não, em Europa há muitos anos, não, viel lang Jahr. Aí estate hier in Europa mit contabilidade, não?
Done as accountant.
Sim, pero com show já há muitos anos, sempre com Brasil, os eventos culturais, a gastronomia, tudo que tem a ver com Brasil é comigo.
So although she's been here for 14 years, she's still very much vinculated with Brazil in all ways because she's very big on doing events, but whether it's within a cultural event or whether it's just making a party with Brazilian dancers and food. Eres presentadora, you're a TV presenter.
Sim, também
Did that start here or are you doing that already before or is that something that's developed with your passion for promoting Brazil in Spain?
A parte de interview é com os projetos culturais entre Brasil e Europa. Tudo que tem a ver com festas brasileiras, eventos culturais com Brasil, carnaval brasileiro. Eu hago a transmissão para Brasil e Europa, com o ajuntamento brasileiro, né, para que os brasileiros e os enamorados de Brasil se lo podem conhecer nossa cultura de uma forma mais direta e objetiva.
What a clever young girl, not only an accountant by profession, but has used her love of her country to make allegiances with the different government officials and boards in Brazil to help them promote Brazil abroad and also make sure that everything that's going on, whether it's about carnival or different cultural events, can be shared with those who are interested. Brazil is a very
multicultural.
Yeah, it's very cool, even there's a lot of poor areas. When I was living in Bucios I had the pleasure of, and then traveling around and being in different areas and going by bus, so you get to see things well by bus. But one thing that amazed me, and I learned my humility, real humility there, was people that were so poor, but so joyous. That beat going down
was very criativo, muito temperamento. Brasil, vamos, multicultural, não? Na colonizações, muitos países nos colonizaram. E então, claro, temos uma cultura muito rica entre Brasil, África, Brasil indígenas, Brasil, Europa, Brasil árabe, Brasil todo, né?
Então, Marisol saying that because of the diversity of the cultures, by all the places that have colonized Brazil and have gone in there, that they really do have a very, very, very rich culture, which gives you much to talk about. Te dá mucho de que hablar.
Sim, muitas coisas, incluso poder mirar nas redes sociais e acompanhar pouco do trabalho, não?
It's nice because you can follow everything on social media. El nuevo mundo de las redes sociales realmente ayudan mucho en conectar a las personas de país en país. The social media to connect people from different countries, make it like you're literally in the same place.
Claro, e eu havia viajado muito na Europa inteira, não? He estado em Alemanha, Espanha, Portugal, incluso também já vivido em Alemanha há 12 anos, hablo alemão também. O inglês entendo mais, pero habla menos.
It's like she speaks less English, she understands it more, but you've lived, she's saying, for how many years in Germany?
German, 12 years.
12 years in Germany.
12 years, 1 year in Portugal. Half life in Brazil and half life in Spain.
But it's nice that you found a way of combining everything, so you're still close to home without being there by getting involved in these cultural events, but also you create events for others. So if someone wants to do a party in their house or a bar or a restaurant wants to do something with a Brazilian flavor.
Happy birthday, party, disco, private party, company party. Everything from Brazil, samba, capoeira, live music, concerto, mission from culturales Brazil. Speak with me. I gave Brazil a new party.
Just fabulous because in Marbella we have 147 different nationalities, and the Brazilians are one of them. And if you can savor the flavor of music and the food, and more than anything for me, having had the privilege of being there for a while, it's just the feel. It's a joyous feel. It's kind of like the Andaluz in Spain. The Brazilians in the world have just got that flair, like you have, you know, just the color, the joy for life, music, dancing.
Isso. Também pode explicar para os demais em inglês que nós outros também preparamos grupos para levar ao Brasil quem queira conhecer carnaval com uma forma mais segura para poder vir ao Brasil, tanto em Rio como em Salvador de Bahia.
Oh, this is wonderful. If you want to go to Rio or Salvador de Bahia for carnivals, you can organize a safe trip, that you've got everything organized and prepared before you go, through Marisol and her endeavors. So Marisol, this is really, high five you. And Bruno, thank you so much for the introduction, because I know that a lot of people will have got a lot of ideas from the interview of events and parties, and just that something little extra to spice up our everyday with a little bit more.
Yes, movie Brasil.
Brasil.
Sí, pues y es muy interesante, ¿no? Nosotros tenemos también el proyecto Matriz Africana, que por ejemplo, la África, fora de África, está en mi ciudad en Bahía, ¿no? Que es la mayor fiesta popular del mundo.
Africa out of Africa.
Es en Bahía, porque en la colonización de los portugueses se llevaron muchos negros para allá, africanos.
So they took a lot of Africans to Brazil when the Portuguese were running the show.
Yes, entonces yo soy una de las embaixadoras del proyecto Matriz Africana, que es el proyecto Emundi, que también está acoplado con el gobierno, estado, prefeitura, SEBRAE, que son órganos de ahí de Brasil, ¿no? Para también atraer el turismo, para conocer las matrices africanas brasileiras.
So what a great government incentive that's supported by all the different organizations, of which Marisol is a collaborator, for people to understand the African heritage and integration within Brazil and give it the value and respect that they deserve.
Esse projeto é projeto que está desde 2012, 2013 por aí, e por exemplo, é resgatar, não, essa cultura africana que ha sido perdida e ocultada durante muitos anos com o racismo, vamos dizer assim.
Racism unfortunately obliterates a lot of people's culture, history and dignity. And this is what Marisol, one of her projects that she's collaborating, is to change that. Marisol, muchísimas gracias, cariño. Thank you ever so much. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of Marisol, because I just know that people are going to start organising parties, and that you will be able to get involved, because this is a culture we certainly want to embrace. Have to embrace all the good things, all the nationalities. Muchísimas obrigado.
De nada, pois se alguém queira saber mais alguma cosita, não, que entre em contato comigo através do telefone ou das redes sociais, que será bem-vindos.
Support Marisol. You got all the details there to get in contact, and I hope that you do. Thank you, obrigado.
Besito, gracias, coração. Thank you very much.
Alright guys, so I'm the designated driver tonight, so I'm going to choose the Zero Hero place. So all of my soft drinks are for free. And if you want to go somewhere else, just check out the Facebook, Instagram or the zerohero.es website for any of the bars, discotheques or restaurants on there. I'm happy to go anywhere you want to go, as long as it's Zero Hero.
This is Miss Ro, a new partner of Zero Hero.
My very dear friend Estelle Mitchell called me to see if I would like to go to Starlight with her, because unfortunately her daughter wasn't well and had bought her tickets to go to Starlight back in May for her birthday. I said, sure, great, that sounds like fun. And then I found out it was Sara Barras, so I thought I would go to YouTube and see what she sings, so I'd be like familiar with her songs before I went to the event. But it turns out she's actually a flamenco dancer. At first I wasn't so thrilled, but then I went, and it has restored my faith in flamenco. It was probably one of the best shows I've seen in ages, and my first visit to Starlight 2022. So a big thank you to Estelle for the invitation. I'm really sorry, Emmy, that you weren't well, but at the same time I'm really happy you weren't well, because I had a fabulous evening. I didn't record much because I actually wanted to enjoy the evening and not see it through a camera, but I did record a little bit, and I hope you enjoy this.
Let the music
heart. We can change if we try. Just believe it's worth your time. One, we are at one, we are at one, we are at one. Let the feeling into your soul. Let it set you on your way. No need to hesitate. Time to make a change. There'll be no trouble tearing us apart. Brothers, sisters, one beating heart. We can change if we try. Just believe it's worth your time. One, we are at one, we are at one, we are at one, we are at one.
Soy el alma que baila desnuda de cadenas. Soy el sueño insaciable de la luna. Soy testigo en la sombra de la vida. Soy la que contigo aprendió que las semanas tienen más de 7 días y que las verdades tienen lazos que destruyen las mentiras, que se dejó llevar por aquel remolino que fue creciendo.
Bandoneón, tu tango gris, quizá te hiera igual que a mí, más que un amor sentimental. Llora mi alma de fantasía, sola y triste en esta noche negra y sin estrella.
Pues mira, la verdad que para mí es un honor poder poner mi granito de arena en Starlight, porque es un festival al que le tengo mucho cariño y del que me siento parte desde hace muchos años, ¿no? Entonces es un honor estar aquí. Ahora cuando suba voy a dejarme, como decía antes, el alma, el corazón y lo que haga falta.
So here we are at Everest. Very cool. Yeah. Stickers going up.
Hi, my name is Govinda. I'm from Everest. Welcome to Zero Hero, to Everest Fusion, to enjoy your cocktails, drinks, and happy hour as well. And food, of course, is delicious. Thank you.
Welcome to Sister Taperia. Perfecto.
When I'm the designated driver, I think it's only fair that I get to choose a Zero Hero venue that rewards me with free soft drinks. My friends all get to choose and booze, and they feel safe going home with me. Make sure that you get your reward for being the designated driver. Why pay if you don't have to?
Regular viewers of the show will know that this lady is one of my favorite people in Marbella, Cara J. Carradas, who I met at the boardwalk when she had her restaurant, and now she's with Umbrella's Bar and Barbers and Miss Roar, and also the first mummy that my boy had, so thank you for my boy. I love him. He's nearly a year old now and hopefully training up to be on the show. But the reason we're here is because there's shows starting here at Miss Raw on Fridays and Saturday nights. Cabaret, like, all out.
Yeah, it's to be honest with you, I'm super excited about it, mainly for the fact that we've never seen a French burlesque done properly here in Marbella. So we've got the splendid concept coming from France. The routines for the girls are just simply spectacular. It starts on 27th, which is the 1 year anniversary of Miss Raw, which is when we're launching it. So it's Miss Raw presents Cabaret, but really get your tickets, they're going fast. It's €70 for the normal ticket, which is for a 3-course menu and bottle of wine, and 150 for VIP, which is with champagne and a really special menu. But it's going to be something that Marbella has never seen before, and really something. Do you know, with everything, there's a lot of shows, a lot of dinner shows here, but there's nothing really with that je ne sais quoi, and that's what we're bringing.
The nice thing is that here at the Bullring, aka Marbella Arena, as it is now known, there are a lot of pluses. Great at what you're doing, but also you can actually park here, and there's a big thing in Marbella. We choose where we go, where we can park, and you can park and you get tickets as well to compensate for 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, there's parking all of the time, and it goes all the way around the arena. And what we're seeing now is more and more places open, which is what we need, obviously. But it's just, I mean, you know what we're like about community feel, everything that we do for community. You come into the arena and it's such an amazing community feel. I just love working here. You know, we finish work, all of the owners sit together and have a drink. It's really something that I've been searching for in Marbella for 22 years. And I feel like I finally found that here. So it's
there is really, that community spirit here.
Yes, so totally. It's just a really special place. And now that people are getting to know it, I mean, Miss Raw, I feel like the whole concept was made for me, and you know, it's world fusion food, it's a little bit out there, but I mean, Thursday, Friday, Saturday we do the shows every single night. It's not 2 sittings, you can come, you can spend the whole evening. It's just a really special place. I'm just so excited to be involved with everything. But this new cabaret show with the girls, we have Tabitha as the singer, we have the full setup, every dance routine, all of the outfits. It's simply spectacular.
As you say, this is kind of made for you because you are so community spirited. I know people look at you, you're so gorgeous, you're so exotic. It's actually kind of incongruous that you are one of the most dedicated charity workers on the coast. So it's not just that the Cara can set up a good party and you're with Umbrellas and Miss Raw, but you promote everybody.
Yeah, I think it's important. You know, people get this selfish mentality where they think just push yourself. But when you all work together, you get a lot further, and that's something that over the last couple of months, certainly, that everyone's sort of pulling together now. We're all with each other, and it's really fabulous. It's a really nice time. We're about to go into winter, but I do feel like the arena is going to be a good winter place because not everyone wants to go to the port once it comes to winter. So I do think this is going to be the winter hub, if you like. We've got the World Cup coming up in Umbrellas. We've got all the poker nights and darts, and there's a little bit of something special everywhere you go. So I'm really looking forward to the winter for once, which is nice.
Yeah, it is, and it's a great place to come. Everything's together, there's lots of options. But let's get back to Miss Raw. Tell us exactly when you're starting, how to get your bookings made, and what we can expect.
So it starts 8:30 on the 27th of August. It's the 1 year anniversary for Miss Raw. Presenting Cabaret, you can book through the website, through Facebook, through Instagram. There's 2 separate tickets, as I said. One is 70 a head, one is 150, but it is a full night out. We're going to be going till 3 o'clock in the morning, where after 12, when the show finishes, we go into a nightclub with the DJ and saxophonist. It's just going to be a really special night. So please book.
It really does sound exciting. And I have to say, at my age, to be able to go to dinner, have a show, and be in one place that's easy to park with friendly people who value our custom is really a nice change.
I know, it feels like there's something magical in the air at the moment, I've got to say, because every day I'm seeing the girls doing their routines, and it's so, I mean, I was a dancer for 10 years, so I
learn something new about you every day.
That's what I did, and I did a lot of Broadway shows in London and stuff, so to be back in the hub of that as well, it's just a really, really lovely time at the moment. I'm just loving life.
Marbella is a place to love life. That's all we have time for this week, but thank you so much for joining us. Our resident community is an important one, and we are all welcome here at the Marbella Arena, aka the Bullring. Join us for more of what's going on in Marbella Now next week. You can find recordings of the show from the RTV Marbella website or from my website, nicoleking.es. And don't forget that Miss Raw and Umbrellas and other places here are Zero Hero partners, giving free soft drinks to the designated driver. Why pay if you don't have to? Check out the Marbella Arena, check out Miss Raw, Umbrellas, and join us again for more of what's going on behind the scenes in Marbella next week. Bye for now.